And that's why I think this United story and the DEI story hits so hard, because we've all been in the back of a plane when the turbulence hits, or when you're flying through a storm and you're like, I'm so glad I saw the guy with the right stuff and the square jaw get into the cockpit before we took off. And I feel better now thinking about that. No, I mean, like,
you want to go thought crime? Like, I'm sorry. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
Well, that's the you wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't have. You wouldn't have done that before.
That's not an immediate.
No, you wouldn't have done that before.
That's not who I am. That's not what I believe.
It is the reality the left has created.
What's going on, everyone? Sauce here today, and we're going to react to some cultural news type of stuff. Charlie Kirk just got accused of being a racist by Ed Krasenstein. I think that's how you say his name. And here's a tweet, and he made a big deal out of this. He got ratioed, I think, 27 comments to 23 likes. And even I commented on it. And one thing I would say is that this is the negative impacts of DEI. When you give someone special consideration because of their skin color, because you believe that they're handicapped or they're part of an oppressed group, and you want to give them special considerations, prepare for the opposite view of people using those very same standards to question the qualifications of the individual, right? At the end of the day, this is not racism. I don't think Charlie Kirk is a racist. I love Charlie Kirk, actually. But I think Ed Krasenstein is more of a racist than Charlie Kirk is. Here's an example of liberals. Like, this is my problem with these liberals, right? Now, liberals, some of you, many of you, have a savior complex. And you use race, and I just did a video with Elon Musk about how he exposed underdogma, and now I'm seeing it everywhere. You believe because you're stronger, whatever, or you think your skin color gives you some special superpower. I don't know what's wrong with you liberals. But the idea that someone asking about the qualifications of someone else is racist, that's a stretch there. I think Krasenstein is intentionally misunderstanding Charlie Kirk's point. Charlie Kirk, I'm sorry. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Why is he saying that? It's not because Charlie Kirk is some bad person. He forgets the backdrop of the whole stories that came out. And this guy's supposed to be a journalist. He forgets all the storylines about how airlines are pushing for DEI. We just told you DEI is just racism under new management. Now they discriminate against other people who are not black or minority. You putting these people, because there's not enough talent to actually meet a lot of these quotas these airlines put out there. So what's the next best step? Either you lower standards, or you have to wait in a long period of time to train them and test them. And that's going to take too long for these quotas. Some of these quotas, they want it by next year. And there's not enough talent for them to fill these quotas up. So what are you going to have to do? What matters more, the racial quota or the ideal of it? So this is the argument that a lot of people are having, that, hey, DEI is automatically creating an environment where human nature kicks in. Human nature is what? Pattern recognition. Hey, let's create two worlds. One without DEI, one with DEI. The world without DEI, if we saw a black pilot, we would just assume he's skilled, because there's no special consideration for him. There's no effort to get people who look like him into the field, because there's no standard like that. People, would you think Charlie Kirk will make the same questioning of his credentials as in the DEI world? No, he will not. He will be like, oh, okay. Oh, black pilot. Oh, that's rare to see. That's all he's going to say. But in the world of DEI, where they're pushing standards and special consideration, where they're making an outward effort to try to get more people like him, people of a certain skin color, into the field, where without DEI, those people wouldn't even be interested in being pilots, may not even have the skill to even make it into training. Now there's a push for that. What do you think the consideration is going to be? People are going to be like, yo, because end of the day, it doesn't matter if a left-wing person calls you a racist if you're dead. That's the reality. Human nature is made for survival. And if you do something that threatens the human nature's survival, they'll discriminate against you. Period. It's intellectually dishonest by Ed Krasenstein to sit here and try to paint Charlie Kirk as a racist. Charlie Kirk is a racist. If there's no other word for this, it is not racism, then what is it? It's rational discrimination. It's rational evaluation. He's evaluating, hey, did this person get here because of his race or because of his merit? And the only thing you have to blame is DEI. But I digress. I went on a little tangent there, guys. I'm sorry. You know me. You guys talks with Kenny for a reason, right? So in this next clip, I want to show you that this is not something specific to Ed. I think this is just something that is built into leftist perception of the world. They see skin color, yet they want to project and call conservatives racist when I believe liberals are more racist than conservatives. Here's a clip that gives me an example of what I'm talking about.
For those who are watching, especially the youth, there's a great meme, a Family Guy meme, where there's a chart of who gets to be labeled a terrorist and who doesn't. The front part of the chart is when you have light skin, you're not a terrorist. When it gets darker and darker,
people
you're
like
a
you
terrorist.
always bring race into it. It's got nothing to do with race
like
and
me.
everything to do with people who kill people.
Mm.
Yes,
And
people
yet,
like you, race baiters
I have not
like
heard you.
Yes.
And I've not heard you really express this much outrage against the #1 domestic terror threat against all our communities in America and the UK, which is rising white nationalism.
I am
Not
a
word,
dark-skinned,
but you seem to have a lot.
first-generation immigrant to the UK. I don't play your racial games. Stop using your skin color as a way to shut other people up, and let's talk about the issue. The issue here is, should we tolerate foreign terrorists in our country, or should we remove them? And my opinion is we should remove people who are not conducive to this country. And if someone like me, first-generation immigrant, comes here and wants to be a terrorist, it is first-generation immigrants like me that are at the front of the queue to get them out.
Exactly. Agreed. Right? None of this moral relativism. Oh, look at this people. Look at this people. Let's judge the actions and behaviors and apply the judgment the same. What's wrong with that? DI spits in the face of that. Hey, let's not look at the person's skin color. Let's look at their ability to do the job. But if you only focus on merit, disproportional outcomes will become, right? And the issue here is that I'm trying to bring up or highlight is it's a common thing with liberals. They'll call conservatives racist, but they're the #1 people who bring race into every conversation when race has nothing to do with the conversation or is merely a distraction from the conversation. Hey, we're trying to judge this person's behavior, but you want to bring up race, or someone of another race did the same thing and they're not prosecuted at the same rate as the other person. There's more context than that. And we're judging the action. Is the action bad? Liberals love to bring up race as a deflection. And I think that's what Ed here did with the Charlie Kirk tweet, right? Because he doesn't have an argument. Hey, and this is not even a racist statement, bro. I'm sorry. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. How's that racist? Huh? That's like someone telling you, hey, I became a doctor without a college degree. Oh boy, I hope he's qualified. Oh, now are you going to say you're a credentialist now because you're evaluating someone's qualification to do the job because he doesn't have a college degree? You see how it plays out? All it is pattern recognition, but they're quick to call it racism. So here's the Charlie Kirk responding to all this criticism that he's getting from people on the left. I made a logical statement. Let's follow. In 2023, 19% of the U.S. pilot corps was minority or female. This is representative. Black people are 13% of the population, right? This is representative. Now, I'm sure someone's gonna be like, no, all of them combined is not representative, but end of the day, this is without any special treatment, right? Which was already the highest amongst any airline. United CEO Steve Kirby bragged that the airline would mandate that their next pilot class will be 50% female and minority. A few questions here. So if you're mandating, that's a racial quota. Okay, so no matter how good a white pilot or Asian pilot, actually Asians are a minority in this case, but no matter how good a white pilot is, you can get a class, let's say the class of 2014 for the next pilot class, let's say 2024, next pilot class. Let's say the top 10 are all white males. You're going to disqualify all of them because the bottom 50 are more representative than the top 10. Make it make sense. When this is my problem with a lot of people who advocate for DEI is that when race and merit clash, which one would you pick? Which one will get priority? If you're making a racial quota, it will be race. If you're not making a racial quota, you'll pick merit. This is the argument that a lot of people are having. Hey, what is the priority here? Is it merit or is it race? And if it is merit, then you shouldn't have any racial quotas, but you do. You having mandates. This is the backdrop of what the statement that Charlie Kirk is. But liberals like to pretend that the only good view is their view, and this is a very big blind spot that a lot of liberals and people on the political left have, is that they think every contrary opinion is either uneducated, conspiracy theory, or evil. instead of actually debating the issues. They want to frame you or smear you as a certain thing. And then they will pretend that as a conservative, you're trying to spin or twist their words. When they do the spinning and twisting, they're more guilty of that. They spin Charlie Kirk's words and say he's racist. They frame it in a negative way that wasn't even taken into that context. But, I digress. A few questions here. Are there enough candidates to fill up the 50% quota? No. Why are 81% of the U.S. pilots white men currently? Remember, and this is my funny part. When I make a video saying leftists hate critical thinkers, I got some few people in my comment section say, "Oh, Kenny, this is a politicized video. This is divisive." I'm like, but you do. I'm making the argument that left-wing people are more guilty of this behavior than right-wing people. That's the center of my argument for that video. Why leftists hate critical thinkers. Because in the right, if you see the right, we disagree on a lot of ish. We have to come with some proof. Conservatives love empirical evidence, while liberals love relativism, rationalism. They love theoretical knowledge. That's one thing I notice about people who tend to identify with the political left. They love theoretical knowledge, while people on the political right, they value practical knowledge. And practical knowledge usually comes with what? Data and statistics, stats. Why are 80% of the United States United pilots white men currently? Because there's no DEI. Those are the people who tend to produce the best quality for the job. If I asked you, why is 74% of the NBA black men currently? There's no DEI. There's no DEI in the NBA. So if you're not a racist, you should be advocating for DEI in the NBA, but you're not, because you are. And this is my argument. I think this Kazakhstan guy, is projecting here. I believe liberals are the biggest racists in America. If racism is a problem in America, I believe it's pushed by liberals, but in a different way, in a condescending way. The liberals are racist in a way where they treat people of minorities as incapable of doing anything for themselves without their help. It's a type of white savior complex. It's a type of, hey, we treat minorities like a pet. They need our help. They need our support. They can't do anything without us. This busybody kind of ideological framework that they operate in. This is why they love allyship. They're more offended about a joke about gay people than the actual gay people. This is the reality. This is my view. Let me know if you disagree or agree. I would like to hear your thoughts. Is it because they happen to be the best pilots? Yes, just like the NBA, LeBron James, he's not the best basketball player because he's a black man. It's because he's the best basketball player. So if a white man is in there, it's not because he's a white man that we think he's the best pilot. It's because he's actually the best pilot. And these are the group of people that produces the best pilots. Just like black people produce the best NBA players, right? See, when you find, this is why I love inverse theory. Inverse theory is, hey, if you apply the opposite, if you agree with the opposite, then you can agree with the current. If I bring an opposite example of something that's disproportional and you agree with it, then you cannot be mad about a disproportional outcome for white male pilots in the airlines. Should we just assume it's because woke United is secretly super racist, or is it possible that white men simply tend to be more interested in flying than other groups, just like black people are more interested in playing basketball than other groups, or sports in general than other groups? If white men land the plane safely, what is the problem? What is the problem? If hiring is based on merit, why aren't there more minority or female pilots? It's just they just can't compete. Does this automatically mean equally qualified minorities and women are getting passed over, or are there other explanations, which usually they are? Because success outcomes is not determined by one factor. And this is the problem with DEI. DEI assumes that because of your gender, because of your race, because of your sexual orientation, these three factors have more impact over your outcomes than any other factor. Not your ability to work, not your worth ethic, not your abilities, not your talents, not your skills, not your credentials, not your education, right? Not your motivation or your ability to focus, your ability to persist in the face of failure. None of those other factors don't matter. It's because of this. These things you were born with, things you couldn't control, those determine your entire life. It's a very fixed mindset. Why are nurses why more nurses and teachers female? Is it because society is anti-male, or is it because women are drawn to these professions in greater numbers than men? Look at these points. And what Kazakhstan did. Lazy at, oh, sorry guys, almost cursed. Look at this. Lazy. But when I make an argument, the leftists hate critical thinkers. Oh, Kenny, you're being those vices here. This could apply to anybody. Okay. Every analysis we had have a similar quota-based affirmative action programs, resulting in lowering standards in order to meet these goals. Yes, because what's the priority there? Is the priority is to execute at a high level, or the priority is, hey, look, we hit the quota. Look at us, 50%. Right? What's the ethos of DEI? Is it to look good or to actually do good? If you want to do good, hey, I think landing planes safely at a high percentage rate, I think that's doing good. But looking good is, hey, look at our pilots. We're 50% representative. We look like our population. And more people are dying. I don't think that's actually a good outcome. Like they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I want to leave it out there, right? I just want to end it off with Charlie Kirk's final point. I know this is a long tweet. We have been a victim of our own success. Praise God, in the last 25 years, we haven't had a major airline crash, right? And Charlie's point is, if we increase DEI standards, will we increase the rate of airline crashes? Airplanes crashes happen frequently in other parts of the world. We assume leading and flying planes is brainless work anyone can do. It's not. It's high stakes, difficulty, and intense work. And I don't care. People will be willing to be called a racist if there's a correlation with black pilots and crashes. Period. End of the day, human nature is based on survival. You ain't playing this, virtue signaling game. Oh, who cares? They say, hey, you stake your life on it then. And then when this is, these left wingers, they believe in Darwinism, right? You're a selection event. Okay, go ahead. Go believe them. Go. Believe in DEI. Stake your life on DEI. See what happened. All you guys will go extinct and the future is conservative again. Selection event, right? Let's play the game. Because when it's time to put your money where your mouth is, a lot of liberals shut up. Of course, there are qualified black and female pilots, but when you socially engineer, and this is the problem we have, racial quotas that are far outstrip current demographics in the given field, especially one where the lives of passengers are on the line, it is a fair question whether someone received the job because they are best for the job or because they're politically expedient. Screaming racism doesn't make the plane land safely. And this is how y'all supposed to come at them. Look, black power relies on white guilt. White people, I give y'all permission. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty about yourselves. Don't. Because our lives depend on it. Because this is the only reason a lot of this race hustling, these race hustlers, these race baiters have any power in to begin with. It's because we give them power. And now it's time that we take it away because now they're abusing that power to our own detriment. That is the reality. DEI is racism. DEI is racist. If you believe what Charlie Kirk, the statement was, if you believe that was racist, then you must admit that DEI is racist and that you are a racist as well. But liberals never want to admit that because they think just because they're a liberal that they're inherently good or something. I don't know what it is, but I digress. I made my points. I think I kind of beat this over with a dead horse already. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I really like to hear your thoughts about DEI. You agree, disagree, love my comments, don't love my comments. I'd like to hear it all in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.